Working on the street, it's a lot more impressionistic, it's a lot more sketchy. Sometimes it's abstract. You start to become aware of the small details, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the noise. That becomes a part of the flavor that you call on when you start sketching. Far away from the postcard, of the peak and the harbor, when you're coming into land over Kowloon City, 1996, it was pretty grimy, I'll be honest. It was chaotic looking. It was very different from anything that I expected. And I was looking out the window for the runway. I thought, where are we going? It felt like we were going to land in the middle of the street. And as we came in lower and lower, I could see into people's apartment buildings. I could see the TV screens. I had that similar experience of leaving Wales to go to London, which was kind of mind-altering. You go to a new place and you see a big city, but the step up from living in London to suddenly arriving in Hong Kong was another step change. It was another level of experience. Working in the toy industry was very rewarding because you get to work on so many different types of projects that are related to real-world objects. But what felt like 1 year for myself would be 5 years to people back on Earth, back in UK. And before I knew it, 25 years have gone past. Once you're in a certain pattern, you become almost numb to things, oblivious to your surroundings. Felt like I had been asleep, as it were. I hadn't noticed the things that I should have noticed and appreciated more, which comes to why I am now an artist. Suddenly, one day I thought, you know what, I'll just go out and start sketching and painting. So I went down to my local beach and started. This is the first thing I did, almost 25, 30 years of not using paints, because during my design career I was mainly using computers to draw. And when you're painting from life, when you're outside, it's a different process, it's a different experience. You're much more in the moment. A sketch is almost like a long exposure of a photograph. Things change, things move. Sometimes a car or a truck will come and block your view and you'll have to relocate. There's an emotional connection with people in real environments, in real situations that I enjoy. My hometown is a working class mining village in South Wales. So I kind of have an affinity with grassroots life and people doing honest day-to-day jobs. And what I found in some of the older districts in Hong Kong, you see real life. I like the detail because that's what I see. And I feel I want to do an honest day's work and show Hong Kong as it actually is, not as a romantic view, but as what it really looks like to me, because that in itself is the romance. The detail, the grime, the old and new all together, that's a true representation of a street view. I love some of the older districts like Sham Shui Po and Wan Chai. Wan Chai in particular because it has that unique combination of the old kind of 1960s style round-cornered tenement buildings mixed together with some of the even older Pong Lao style buildings with the verandas in front. And you have those tram lines running through the center. In any given Hong Kong street view, you've got some fantastic examples of three-dimensional kind of perspective where all the corners, all the lines of the buildings are pointing to what's called a vanishing point. For a designer, if you're aware of these kind of perspectives, it's quite fascinating. In my home village, there are no buildings above 2 stories. Your sense of space changes. During the process of capturing a scene in watercolor or pencil or pen or whatever I'm using, it's almost like I don't want to be noticed. I want to sink into the background, become an observer and just watch and pick out the details. Before I've got something on the paper, I just observe, and it's almost a form of mindfulness. I started to upload pictures and sketches of Hong Kong to social media just for fun, just as a method of processing what was happening in the world, just for something cathartic for myself. And some people appreciate that I'm trying to show their home in a positive way.